Good morning, gang. Happy Monday. Here we go, back at it again. So, by now, you guys have probably heard about what's going on in Moore County, North Carolina, that someone or some group of people decided to go shoot up two power transformers and knock out about 100,000 people, the estimate's going to be, from having power. And Duke Energy is saying that it's going to take potentially up to a week to get power back. Now, I'm going to give you this. This is not terribly far from me, a couple hours away. Similar weather. It's in the 20s and 30s overnight lately. It's freaking cold. No power. So as a prepper, here is another reason why you need to have some sort of backup power source, okay? Because if, like me, your house is heated via electricity, yeah, you might be cold for a week. Now, that's just the ramifications, the aftermath. Of course, now you have all the who did it questions coming out. And you know me, I'm an unabashed conservative, okay? I mean, I think liberals, leftists, progressives, Democrats, whatever you want to call them, are scum of the earth. Sorry. My opinion, I'm entitled to it. You don't like it, tough shit. Okay? However, I am certainly not above calling out the right or people on the right when they do stupid shit as well. But that brings up a real interesting point. Depending on where you read this, because again, this is complete speculation, guys, okay? This is reporting on what's being reported and also speculation, giving you the other side of the story because too many people to watch just the mainstream media and whatever Chuck Todd or Anderson Cooper says they take as the word of God. The media is coming out and saying somebody went and shot up, that's how this was done, guys. Somebody put bullets in a transformer, broke down a gate to get to one of them. But the media is coming out and saying this is possibly in response to some drag show that was going on in the area. And it must have been the conservative protesters who obviously didn't want kids. And in all fairness to the organization of the show, that they did make this an 18 and over show to keep the kids out because they didn't want the kids involved in all the protesting. I'll give them that. Okay. And again, this goes back to what I said. I don't care what you do in your free time. You want to go watch drag shows? Fine. You want to go participate in drag shows? That's fine. Keep the kids out of it. At that point, I don't care. All right. Go do whatever the hell you want to do. In my personal opinion, I'm going to give you this again. I don't see any problem doing this. You're entitled to dress like a fruitcake if you want and entertain other adults. That's fine. No kids, period. I draw the line at the kids. But so the media is trying to portray this as conservative groups that shot up the power transformers to take the power out from the drag show. And even the police in the area said, it's possible. Sure, it's possible. So is Martians landing, I guess, alien invasion or whatever. Anything is possible, okay? Nobody's come out and said it. But the media is already taking this to the next level. Basically, any story, I don't care. And I'll link the one here just from NBC so you can see it, that's what they're already assuming. I'm going to pose an alternate scenario to you. Could this be one of those groups like Extinction Rebellion? Now remember, the power company down here is Duke Energy. Duke Energy does electricity and natural gas. What are we seeing in the news? I'm going to glue myself to this Van Gogh. I'm going to park my fat ass in the middle of the street and block traffic. Yada, yada, yada. I'm going to throw ketchup on a Maserati dealership. I mean, what was it? They spray painted a Porsche at an auto show somewhere. Stuff like that. Okay. These are these groups that are protesting the use of fossil fuels. Could it be them? Absolutely. Okay. They're prone to stupid stuff like this too. Oh, but they don't use violence, right? That's what somebody's going to come up and say. Take a look at this picture. This was posted yesterday on the window of an abortion, I believe it was a clinic or whatever it would be. But it says, if you believe if our right to abortion in Bellevue is taken away due to the attempt to pass an abortion ban, and if it gets passed, we'll shoot up your Newman Center with our new AR-14 rifles. Sincerely, Jane's Revenge. Now, Jane's Revenge is also one of these whack job groups, okay, that is protesting conservative rights. Just saying. Okay. Now, while that letter was actually written, I'm going to say, again, personal opinion, that there's a potential that this is a hoax. Think Jussie Smollett. Okay. First off, I look at the handwriting. Okay, and the handwriting looks like it was written by a fourth grader, personally. Okay. But at the very end, we will shoot up your Newman Center with our new AR-14 rifles. AR-14 has been a running joke for, the better part of a year, ever since Biden coined that term. Okay, I want to know, can you get an AK-46 too? But I just wonder if this part is a hoax. This is what you need to pay attention to. Besides the fact that the media is spinning stuff, gee, there's a surprise, to fit their narrative. Look at the other side of who it could be. Here you have one of these radical extremist terrorist groups, Jane's Revenge, coming out and threatening to shoot up something. The same weekend that you had the police already say that this was some radical terrorist or terrorist group actually shoot up something. Okay? I'm just saying, it may not be the conservatives who were protesting a drag show. It could very well have been the despicable leftists shooting up a power station. Nobody talks about that, but there's a possibility. Okay? Just like there's a possibility it was at the drag show. But too many news media outlets, too many, I know you guys sent me tons of articles yesterday on this story. I probably had 30 emails with links from everywhere, from national news to local news to YouTube videos to whatever. Okay, and everybody covered this. I want to give you the other side of what it could possibly be. I want you to use the squirrel cage. Nobody knows who did this yet. However, here's the lesson learned. Could it have been a conservative group? Yup. Could it have been a liberal group? Yup. You don't know. People don't walk around, as I'm sitting here wearing a red sweatshirt, people don't walk around with their colors on. I'm a leftist, I'm a conservative, except some of these fruitcakes, okay? You know, yeah. But if I was walking down the street of Boston right now, you wouldn't know if I was a conservative or a liberal. Tennessee, it's pretty obvious because there ain't a whole lot of liberals down here where I am, okay? But if I'm walking through Chicago or wherever it would be, you're not going to know. Nobody wears their colors. I mean, unless you're running around with a Trump 24 sign or, you know, Biden is, you know, the second coming of Christ, whatever it would be. Nobody knows. So you have no idea who the threat is that could be standing next to you in line in the grocery store, who could be parked behind you waiting for their chance to pump gas. You don't know. This is the thing. This is where we talk about head on a swivel, situational awareness, you know, carrying all the time, because you have no idea who it's going to be. Could it be some deranged leftist that decides to shoot up the Walmart you're shopping in? Yup. Could it be some whacked out conservative? Yup. Okay. Idiocity is not limited to one political party. Granted, the liberals are trying to monopolize it, but you know, the conservative side is not going, gee, you know what? All our people are smart. Look at these stories when you see them, when you read them, and think about what else it could be. I know Occam's razor says the most simple solution is usually the correct one. But personally, and I could wind up all wet on this one. Personally, I think shooting up 2 substations, it's a stretch to say it's because of some LGBTQ drag show. I think it's something bigger. We need to pay attention to that, because the other thing that we don't know, because it hasn't been determined yet, could this be an anarchist group? Could this be a Al-Qaeda type group? Could this be the Chinese? Could it be the Russians? Whatever it was. Could this be a test on our grid? How difficult is it to get in and take out the power? Remember what I told you about how difficult it is to get transformers, how difficult it is to get parts. You know, 6-month backlog, 1 year backlog on this stuff. Let's say, for example, this is some foreign adversary, okay? Not any sort of domestic terrorism, which it very well could be, okay? Again, I'm speculating. And they just figured out, hey, this is pretty easy. We just pop a few rounds in this thing and we can knock out the power for a week. Great. Let's organize and let's pop a few rounds in, 30 of them. Well, if 2 takes out 100,000 people, 30 of them takes out, what, 1.5 million? It doesn't take much to throw this country into darkness, throw this country into chaos. Moore County, North Carolina, has already established a curfew because of the power outage. You have shades of Kenosha, where business owners are sitting in the dark, armed, to protect their small businesses, to keep away looters. What's next? The military walking the street? The UN coming in? I mean, guys, here's a microcosm idea of how fast chaos will happen if the power goes out. This is what you need to watch. It doesn't matter why. Like I said, personally, I don't care if they had an LGBTQ drag show. Kids weren't there, I'm fine, all right? Personally, I don't give a shit about this letter that was written by Jane's Revenge, okay? I'm not worried about getting shot at because I'm not going to be standing in some sort of parenthood clinic or anything like that, whether pro or con. So I'm not going to get shot there. And I'm not going to be at an LGBTQ drag show, so I'm not going to get shot there. But if the power goes out, how fast is it till there's somebody coming down your street, my street, into your business, whatever, going, I'm taking what's here. This is what you need to realize. This is how close we are to utter and complete chaos. When 1, 2, 3, however many people did this, can knock out a power station and throw an entire county into chaos under curfew. Who knows what happens next? Freezing people. Okay, that's going to happen. People are going to be pissed because they didn't go grocery shopping before this happened, and now there's no food. You know, this is the exact reason you prep. And not only prep your food, not only prep your power, and not only prep your weaponry and everything like that, but prep this thing. Because when it happens, you aren't going to expect it. There is no TV guide to go, World Chaos starts Sunday night at 8 p.m. It's just going to happen. Have you ever given that any thought? Pinball out.